everybody. So I am going to attempt to cover up this canvas that I found at Hobby Lobby. It's just a kid's, it was in the clearance home decor section. And the reason why I liked it, besides it being very cheap, it was like $1.50, is that it has, and I'm not sure if you can see, but it has this already built-in texture to it. It's very scratchy, and I love that because I wanted to have sort of a textured background. It is a little bit glossy, and I don't really like the way the surface feels, but if I put some gesso on it, I am confident that it will make a great surface to work on. So I want to take this cheap kids bedroom wall art thing and turn it into a painting. So that's what this video is going to be about. So first I'm just going to add some gesso, and I'm probably going to speed up the process of this video for the most part, but I figure I would start out this way and let you see what I'm doing at first. So I'm just going to squeeze the gesso directly onto this canvas, and I'm going to use my Catalyst Scraper tool to sort of move it around. And you know what I did? I just realized, oops, I used clear gesso and not the white gesso. I grabbed the wrong bottle. Where is my white gesso? That's right. Well, that's okay. This will just provide some more texture. The clear gesso is gritty, and so it leaves a very textured surface. Now this is happening because I didn't clean my scraper last time I used it, but that's okay because I really don't mind this coming off on here. It's going to get covered up anyway. So I think what I'm going to do is, I don't want all of this on here, so I'm just going to take a paper towel that's slightly damp and just sort of go over. I'll worry about the sides later. So, alright, maybe this will become one of those happy mistakes. And I'm just using the Liquitex Basics gesso. I think I prefer the Liquitex Professional gesso, but this is, I still have some left in here, so I'm going to keep using it. There we go. That's what I was looking for. And I don't really like the way my tripod is set up here, but that's okay. And I purposefully want some additional texture, so I'm going to kind of leave in these lines and let this be thick. I can still see the dinosaur through here, but that's okay because I'm going to cover it up with paint. I like this texture. And you can buy even heavier gesso, which I don't have any. I think they make like a super heavy gesso. This is just sort of regular thickness. And the super heavy gesso will create an even better texture. So I need to get some of that. I'm liking this texture, because these marks that I'm making in the gesso will come through later. Alright, that's the first layer, and as you can see, we still see the dinosaur and the wash. Actually, this was probably intended for a kid's bathroom, not bedroom. Alright. And I'll just zoom in a little bit so you can kind of see the texture. I'm looking forward to that peeking through or being able to be felt when it dries. Okay, so I have to let this dry now before I can continue on to my next layer. Okay, so this is mostly dry. I cheated a bit, excuse me, and I used my dryer, and I actually, on purpose, while I was drying it, kind of went like this and added even more texture. Oops. And even created some bubbles and then flattened them down. This is really gritty and textury. It's a tiny little bit wet still, but that's okay. I am actually going to put, I think I'm going to do some raw umber and do a coating of that. And I'm going to use this, I bought this at the dollar store. It's a Betty Crocker spatula for the kitchen. But I bought it for the purposes of painting. And I'm even going to spray this just a little bit to move this paint around. To give it kind of like that stained look. Oh, I love that right there. And I think from here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and I'll be speeding this up. What I'm going to do is continue with this, and then I'm going to add some line, just do some line work with some different writing or drawing implements, like my graphite pencil, some charcoal, maybe some of these Posca pens in black and white, or not sure yet. I have a couple different colors. Maybe some of the Caran d'Ache water-soluble crayon. And I'm just sort of going to, maybe like a drawing pencil. And I'm just going to make some lines and some marks. And then I'll start with some, then I'll add some paint. So... not sure of the direction this is going to take. As usual, all of my paintings are very intuitive and just kind of expressive in the moment. I don't always have a plan unless I'm doing a commission for somebody, then I maybe do. But when I'm just creating it for, not for someone in particular, then I usually don't have a plan. This will probably just be an abstract painting. I don't think I'm going to add any characters or figures or birds or anything like that to it. It's just going to be an abstract, which is what I'm really, really drawn to abstract painting. Just that's, when I'm, I don't know about you, but, you know, I go on Pinterest or look at different Etsy shops or Instagram, and I definitely am always drawn to abstract paintings. Sometimes, like, I love very colorful and expressionistic type work. I love shapes, and I love abstract landscape also, and just like contemporary abstract art. And I love when there's like bold colors, but then some simplistic tamed back with white. Or I'm always drawn to that. I'm usually drawn to organic shapes or things that look like what you would find in nature. So anyway, I have been experimenting with abstract and kind of want to go that direction. So this is great. This is where I'm seeing that. I don't know if you can see this. Here, I'll zoom in a little bit. You see the lines from when I gessoed. You can see those cracks and crevices. And I just love that. I love texture. And because the gesso is still wet a little bit, it is blending like right here. But I like that. I'm good with that. All right, so from here, I'm going to let this just dry a little bit. And then I'm going to start adding my line work and then some other color. Okay, so I am just loving this so far. There is so much texture. I love it. And so just a couple things. I've been using this palette knife, which I wish I had a fatter one. I need to purchase one. But anyway, I was scratching into here with the palette knife, and I just love that. Because when I go back over it with more paint, some of those deep scratches will fill in with paint. So, and so some of the colors I've used so far are, I started out with that Raw Umber by Golden, and then I added, you know, my marks with my charcoal and my pencil and all of that, and then I used a little bit of this turquoise or teal Neocolor crayon. And then I used a bright aqua green by Liquitex. And then I used Indian Yellow, which is one of my absolute favorite colors, by Golden. These are the fluid acrylics, and this one is about out. Thankfully I have another one. And then I was just using the quinacridone burnt orange. And then what I did was I mixed a little bit of white into it to just change up the value a little bit to go over the darker spots, just to add some contrast. So I'll zoom in a little bit here. Yeah, so there's lots and lots and lots of texture here. And I just love the way it is going so far. Now, usually I'm actually going to stop for now, and I need to take a break and step away from this for a little bit, let it dry up fully without using my hair or my heat gun, because I want it to dry. And I will come back to it later. I'm not sure if it'll be later today or tomorrow, but it'll all be continuous in this video to your viewing, but I might need to come back tomorrow. But I think I just want this to fully kind of set and dry, and then I will continue going over it. I'm probably going to add some white, do some more marks, and we'll see the direction it goes. I'm not really sure. One thing I wanted to just say is that I just love textured things. I know I've probably said this a lot, but for example, I have this picture in my studio. I'll grab it. It's just an ad from an Anthropologie, you know, the store Anthropologie. It's just one of their ads in their catalogs or whatever, and I tore this out a long time ago because this is just the model it was a 2-page spread, and there was a model right here, and she's leaning against this wall. And I don't know if you can see, but this wall, just with its worn, weathered look, with all the cracks and the dots and the, you know, from being rained on and whatnot over time, just this worn look. I love that, and I'm drawn to that. And I love, like, whenever I see walls that have like old peeled wallpaper, or you know, paint that's been peeling. There was this TV show my husband and I used to watch, and it's funny, you know, I'm watching the show, but then I'll see something in the background in the set, you know, like one of the characters lived in this studio apartment, and I just loved the wall. It was like really, it was supposed to be like an old dingy studio apartment, and she's this young girl, and she moves in, and it's really dirt cheap, and she kind of fixes it up nice, but the wall and the main kind of wall where she had her couch and whatever, it was just like this peeled paint look, and it was kind of like, I don't know if it was a cement wall that had been painted or whatever, but it was supposed to look real dingy and worn and everything. But I was like always staring at the wall while we were watching the scenes in that set, because it looked like an awesome abstract painting I would want to have hanging in my house. Anyway, so just an odd fact about me, that I like old peeled walls. I like the look of that. And so when I'm painting sometimes backgrounds like this, you know, I'm thinking about that, and I just like to create a feeling of worn and scratched and scraped and textured, and having the gesso underneath as well as the texture that was already there from just the way this was when I bought it, and then having the buildup of layers of paint and scratching into it. Those all make a huge difference. So I'm going to let this dry, and then I'll come back and continue working the surface and making marks and adding more paint and see where it goes. Okay, so it's actually the next day, and I've had some time to step away from this painting. Here's where I'm at now, and I would like to keep going with the surface. I think I'm going to add some more color to it, possibly some more lines, and then I think I want to add some of this lighter blue that I mixed up and put it. I'm not sure I'm liking this right here. So I'm going to kind of fix some areas that I don't like and kind of keep going with it. And then I will probably end up covering over some of it with white and allowing some of these areas that I like to peek through. So that's what I'm thinking for now, and we'll see how it goes.